on Tuesday, September the 1st, only 4 months till New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Hard to believe that. Okay, so we are going live. Everybody's got the special meeting. No. Okay, maybe I'm too close. So we've got the special meeting. I'm calling it to order. We have quorum via everybody except for Fred, and who is going to be calling in. So I'm going to put forward a motion to adopt the agenda. Can I have a second? I have some additions. Take that as a second. Thank you. The additions are the on-table report, which electronically came to council, which is number 4A3, which is increased waste generated at public garbage receptacles. And for reasons to go into the closed council meeting, if we could add 90 section F, Peter, which is what?
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement, thank you. All right, are there any additions, deletions? Peter, you're on, good, thank you. If there are, please say so now, otherwise we'll consider yes. Okay, we're good. The agenda has been set, so we'll move to public participation, and Carla, we'll go to the people who are on Zoom first. There we are. So Carla, can you pick one and unmute them? Okay, Songjin, you are live, and you've got 2 minutes to participate.
I think the video is disabled.
The video is disabled.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you are.
Yeah, hello. I'm Song Jing at 30 Calvin Grove Way. I hereby state our strong opposition to the proposal of rezoning 35 Calvin Grove Way. When we bought the house, know this address at all. I will have my son William speak for me.
Hi, my name is William, and I'm also at 30 Calvin Grove Way. I also hereby state our strong opposition to the proposal of rezoning 35 Calvin Grove Way. We moved here about 8 years ago, and what we love most about the community is that we are all single families, not a large community, just only single families. This is what we love most about this rural place, this village of Lions Bay. The Lions Bay Village municipality has changed the lot from a wooded lot to a single family lot and cut out a lot of the branches that blocks our house from the highway, and it exposed us to a lot of highway noise, light, and dust, and it has already caused a lot of disturbance in our daily life. So rezoning this to a multifamily lot will ruin our quality of life even further, and it will also significantly lower our home value. I love Canada and I love this community, and I think we should maintain it as it is. Again, my family is strongly opposed to the rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you. And I appreciate your participation and thank you for joining us. Carly, can we go to the next Zoom attender, which is Cindy? Cindy, could you unmute? There
Yes, I unmute.
You're live,
Yeah.
Cindy.
Okay, thank you. My name is Cindy David. Can you everyone hear me here? Sorry, just yeah. Look, I live at 20 Calvin Grove together with my husband Richard David and our dog Kiara. On behalf of myself and my family, I wish to express our strong opposition to the rezoning of 35 Calvin Grove into a multi-family lot. Our house is one of the houses that directly opposite 35 Calvin Grove, and our driveway, like many houses on Upper Calvin Grove, is very short and steep. And we have to do a sharp turn onto the narrow and winding part of Calvin Grove Road. Every time we walk down the driveway, we have to take extra caution over the traffic on Kevin Grove, especially when we walk our dog or our aged parents are visiting. Should the 35 Kevin Grove being rezoned into multifamily, their driveway would have no other place to go but on Kevin Grove, and means significant increase of traffic. And that would pose a significant danger to the life of my family. As most of my neighbors worried, the rezoning of 35 Kevin Grove would set a very bad precedent for the other vacant lands and even existing properties in this community. Should all the land parcels and existing properties seeking rezoning and the Kevin Grove becomes a multifamily cluster, how does the council ensure the road safety of every family, every child, and our beloved canine friend living on Kevin Grove? For that reason, I strongly oppose to this rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cindy. Again, thank you very much for your participation. I see Warren, and I thought I saw Philip Marsh on for a second. I'm not sure if you want to public participate, but I'll allow one of you if you're going.
This is Philip.
Okay, Philip, so that's you. If you could do Philip then. And then we'll go to the two who are live here in attendance, and that will conclude the public participation. Philip, you're live.
Yep. Okay. First, this is about the rezoning as well. And a quick caveat that, I don't want my words to be misconstrued. I sincerely believe that all you council's members are beyond reproach, and you have nothing but our best interests at heart. Secondly, for 32 years, I've been an active advocate for secondary suites, serving on the committee, subdivisions of lots, and recently I've advocated coach housing. So I can hardly be considered a NIMBY type resident. Rezoning anywhere in our village is a massive departure from our legacy, and should only be considered as a last resort, and probably not even then. It doesn't enhance affordability. Just look at seascapes, and once that genie is out of the bottle, you're never going to get them back in. Not having a precedent is an important legal tool, and not one that you should throw away on one tiny lot just because village money has been sunk into it. And I really think that this rezoning proposal is particularly unsightly, as we appear to be willing to throw 8 or 10 of our fellow neighbors who are vehemently opposed under the bus for dollars in our coffers. As you have seen, Upper Kelvin Grove is pretty much unanimously against this. And it's not because we're misinformed on the particulars, as has been suggested. We fought rezoning on Kelvin Grove before. There was a council that was tentatively supporting it and ended up listening to the will of the residents most affected, and they reversed their votes. So there's no shame in looking at the past and new evidence and listening to these people, and having sober second thoughts and shutting down this exercise so that our staff can spend their time on more productive work. That would be actually commendable. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that some people, myself included, got the vibe from the last meeting that this was a done deal. And please don't prove them correct. I don't think we should have to keep coming back until the wishes of those most affected are acknowledged. And but if we have to do that, I guess we will. I got better things to do, I know that. This is really a thin edge of the wedge, and it's going to set a dangerous precedent that will pave the way for future decisions not to be in our hands. I don't think this is the correct way to deal with balancing fiscal books with piecemeal asset sales and windfalls, when the problem that we have is structural in nature. It's been proven time and time again that you can't develop yourself into the black. It just can't be done. And one last thing, I really don't understand how some of the people who seem to be very, very for this, just a few years ago were setting their hair on fire, and rightly so, about the Ocean View Access Four Winds development. you know, how can you be so against something like that and be vocally for rezoning something when everybody around it is against it? I really implore council to listen to the neighbors that are most affected. And
Thank you very much, Philip,
Yeah.
and appreciate your participation and your point of view. I won't open this to council because we've got 2 more speakers, but the one piece that I did pick is that you had the impression, and I hope you were the only one that has this, that this is a done deal. I can emphatically tell you on behalf of all of council and all of staff, this is not a done deal. There is no preconception that this was going to pass. We're going to steamroll anybody. The die was cast for increased public participation beyond just the affected neighbors. And that hasn't even begun yet. So again, the key piece of what you thought was it was a done deal, simply not the case. There are 2 other speakers, and these are the ones that are live with us. And so that's George and Richard. George, if you can come first. And I think we can hear you, so you can stand up, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
It's all good.
Thank you. So I'm George Liu at 30 Calvin Grove Way. On July 24th, that is the Friday, 5:12 p.m. after hours, the village sent out an email. And I was shocked to receive the email on the weekend to know that this lot is going to be rezoned to RM1 multifamilies. On July 28th, just 1 working day, Monday, 6 immediate affected families signed the letter, and I handed over right over here. But unfortunately, the council still passed the motion without considering the feedbacks from us. In about 1 week, August 6th, a follow-up letter signed by 34 neighbors signed the letter. And on August 26th, another letter signed by 6 immediately affected homeowners was submitted. 27th, 42 homeowners signed the letter. I sent out an email to the village and the councillors. So please come forward. All the correspondence have been received. We did not receive any responses at all, not even the acknowledgement of receiving. So I should thank you for giving me this opportunity to get in touch with all the neighbors on Calvin Grove Way. I want to share some experience. When I talk to them, when I talk to each and every homeowners, I should say, this is the only time I know each and every of my neighbors. They all treat their house as their homes. 43 out of 45 homeowners are opposing the rezoning. They all feel blessed, feel fortunate to live in such a beautiful single-family community. They would hope we will maintain as it is. It was, it is, and it should be RS1 zone. They feel upset that there was no consultation at all before the village announced the rezoning. So single developments won't make Nice Bay into Ambleside or Thunder Reef. OCP guidelines should be followed. It is wrong to rezone this site. It is even more wrong to rezone it without consultation. So I have one question, as just Cindy mentioned. What will you do when other 5 lots, which are much bigger than this one, 55, 105, 135, 175, 185, when they approach you for rezoning, how can you deny their application? If the village can rezone this small lot, triangle lot, why can't they? Please give us your answer. That is the answer in the future, and you got to think about it now. My second question, we need the breakdowns on the money spent on the lot, on the 273 or 75,000, whatever. We need to know the breakdowns. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, George. Carla, could you please make note of those 2 questions and we'll specifically answer them over the next month? Thank you very much. And David.
Richard? Thank you. Before I start my 2 minutes, I suppose I will just follow up on what the contention that Philip made, and similarly, I couch it in terms of the respect for what the council is doing. However, Philip's view that this is a done deal can be read into the motion that was approved. If this wasn't a done deal, the motion would have said, "Can we please instruct our staff to investigate rezoning?" That wasn't the motion. The motion was to have staff work with the professionals to come back to council on the 22nd of September to rezone the site. So the confusion was created by the motion. And if motion wants to change and have the council look into the prospect of rezoning, which would mean that you would then come and speak with us and have some idea of input, I think we would all welcome that. Mr. Mayor and councillors, my name is Richard David, and my wife Cindy and I live directly opposite the site in question. We're at 20 Kelvin Grove Way. Through George Lou, in particular's committed efforts, substantial and strident opposition to the proposed rezoning has been garnered, resulting in over 95% of the residents of Kelvin Grove Way registering their objections. And the latest details of that with all the signatures is there for the council. So over 95% of the residents of Kelvin Grove Way have registered their objection to this rezoning. This cannot be dismissed by the council as being of no consequence. However, by your actions to date, that is exactly what has transpired. There has been no consultation, there has been no explanation, and there has been no consideration. The motion passed at the council meeting on 28 July did not request council staff to further explore the concept of rezoning. The motion mandated that council staff return on the 22nd of September with a recommendation to rezone the property. This instruction was given without the council attempting to justify such a proposal, having a meaningful debate on the merits, or being aware of the financial facts regarding the site and its cost to taxpayers, or the precedent-setting implications of such a rezoning. I participated in the last council meeting. I think it's a great idea that residents get to participate. And I sat through the very, very brief discussion for the motion. There was no discussion at all about what rezoning would mean for the community, what are the cost implications, what value do you think you can receive, why do you think you can receive that value? There was no discussion whatsoever. And yet the motion was passed to have council recommend a rezoning, actually instructing staff as to the outcome. That's quite amazing, without any consultation with the residents. In correspondence to the council dated 25th of July and 11th August, various issues have been raised. The residents are yet to receive a response to the various queries raised therein, including the implications of bylaw 553 on the rezoning process, details of all prior offers and why they did not complete, any discussions ongoing or in the past with potential buyers predicated upon a rezoning, basis upon which the rezoning does not create a precedent. There are 4 further vacant sites on Kelvin Grove Way, 2 of which at 175 and 185 have been the subject of prior attempts to rezone. This list is merely a sample of the outstanding queries which have been made in writing, which reflects very poorly upon this council who have either done no due diligence regarding this rezoning or have the necessary information and refuse to share or consult with the residents affected. It was the choice of the Mayor and Council to provide the Lions Bay community with minimal notice on 24 July of the relevant motion be put to the Council on 28 July. This lack of genuine notice, if intended, also reflects poorly on this Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes the public participation portion of the meeting. And I think to those who have spoken, it is normal when council goes away as they do for a month in August that no correspondence is responded to at that time. And I would think we would catch up when we do throughout September. So if matters have not changed since then, or before then, you can expect responses by the end of the month. Thank you very much. Which moves us to the next portion of the meeting, which is the staff reports. And first one up is the Public Works Manager, Mr. Jaffer, and you have report A1, the request for decision of 3 PRV stations and the contract award. And you have the ball. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. The tender for the PRV replacements, the 3 PRVs closed on August 14th. Sorry, on August 21st. And we have the following bids from 5 contract companies: Industra, North, Webco, Coast Mountain, and Complete Utility Contractors. The prices are listed for the total amount. Industra is the lowest bid. ISL Engineering has reviewed the tender packages, and all of the tenders were compliant with the requirements. And that's the basis of the recommendation to award to the low bidder.
Thank you very much. Anything further to add, CAO? Nothing more? Okay, well, I tell you what, we'll just get right to it. I will put forward the motion and we'll go to discussion. That council award the 3 PRV station project to Industrial Construction Corporation in the amount of $735,687.52 plus GST, and that council authorize the mayor and the corporate officer to execute contract documents substantially in the form attached. I'll put forward that motion. Can I have a motion by hand? Thank you, Councillor Barmere. Seconded, so we'll go into discussion on this. We'll go around the table. I'll call names so there's no confusion on this. I have a question, Public Works Manager. I recognize the first 2 names, Industria and North, as long-serving contractors for our village in a wide variety of projects. And I presume their capabilities are very comparable. They may have different strengths or weaknesses. We have, in the past, not always taken the lowest bid. Is there a compelling reason other than the approximately $20,000 that Industria received this versus North for any other consideration?
I would class both contractors as equally competent. Industra has a wide range of experience with water-related projects, as does North Construction. Yeah, I mean, if I were to evaluate both, they would be on par with each other in terms of their abilities and qualifications.
So really, it was just a financial differential?
Correct, yeah.
Thank you.
Based on contract law.
Thank you very much. We'll go around the alphabetical part of the councillor. So I'll go to Councillor Abbott. If you've got any questions.
I did send an email asking some questions on the budget, which was answered. On the budget side, do we discuss that in closed, or are we able to discuss that in open now that?
I believe we can discuss that in open, and no, we can't, all of it, or?
The document that I sent. The reason that I would prefer not to do that is because there may very well be a competitive bid process associated with BC Hydro and the skating work to be done. So we could talk about it in closed if you like.
So it's enclosed then, Councillor Abbott.
Okay, fair enough. Just one question for clarity, maybe from our works manager. Each PRV has a large lump sum component, and then some kind of civil work, it's unit rate components. Seem to have plugged the number of 10 cubic meters in each of those line items. Do you expect that to be a reasonable number for these civil rock removal unit rate portions? Do you think this total budget, including the unit rates, is going to overrun or underrun? What's your kind of feeling on this?
I don't think it'll overrun our budgets. Yeah, I mean, the unit rates are there. There have been instances where we've hit large rock. Yeah, I can't speculate on what we're gonna see in the ground.
Okay. The other parts like the granular base and asphalt paving, also in the unit rates, are those not known? Could those not have been rolled into a lump sum, or are they just in case you're digging up something you weren't planned to?
Those,
I mean, is the works on the drawing a total lump sum, and these are just contingency amounts?
Those, so as part of the MMCD process, the unit rates have to be specified in case there's additional work that's requested or change orders that are requested.
So in theory, this job could be complete for the lump sum values only, and you could use 0 of those unit rate contingency amounts. Is that what you're saying? There are kind of contingencies?
That's the intent, yes, to complete within the lump sum. If there's change orders requested by the municipality, or for example, if they hit rock and we need to blast, the unit rates are set ahead of time. So there's no,
Okay.
so we know upfront what we're looking at.
Okay, I think you've answered my question. I'll just to be clear then. So if there's no unfound conditions or nothing that seems different to what's on those drawings, and there's no change, no legitimate change orders, this work can be completed for the lump sum values only. So
Absolutely.
For example, you do not need to have a granular base below it that's measured either squared. You just might need to if you find something ground conditions aren't good. Is that what you're telling me?
The project will be completed for the lump sum value if there are no additional change orders.
Okay. Okay.
Councillor Abbott?
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you very much. Councillor Barmier, any questions?
Yeah, I guess I had similar question to Neville. I guess I don't see any kind of a contingency other than those attached to SCADA. So what are we, is there a contingency value that I'm not seeing here?
So basically the MMCD process is that you bid on the design drawings.
Yeah.
There is no contingency. So
okay, so that number includes 0 contingency. Anything that's like buried treasure, for example, is additional cost to us. So we're assuming that risk essentially.
Correct, based on the unit rates that are provided.
Got it.
Very good. Councillor Barmier? Yes, thank you. Councillor Cunliffe, any questions?
Not for me, thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Bain appears absent. I have no further questions. So Carly, before I call a motion.
Ron, could I just do one last question for now? Now you suggested that both these contractors were equally qualified. In your experience, are both of these contractors equally aggressive on change order requests and change management? Or is one of them less likely to do that than the other, just on the past record you've had with them? I mean, you've done multiple projects with them, right?
Yeah, I've done multiple projects with both. Yeah, I'm not comfortable answering that question in the public.
Okay, I'm referencing that as I've already got the closed piece, and I will ask them a question in the closed. Thank you. Any other questions, Councillor Abbott?
No.
Thank you very much. One comment from the CAO.
Just the motion as it was read out, as it's typed here, up to in paragraph 2, actually reference the report dated.
Yes. So I'm moving to that. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I will do that by saying I'm going to, we're in the discussion phase. I'm proposing to amend the motion to, on part 2, that says that council authorize the mayor and corporate officer to execute contract documents substantially in the form attached, and reference the Public Works Manager's report dated August 25th, titled 3 PRV Station Project Contract Award. Thank you very much, CAO. So consider that the amendment. So just for technicality, can I have a second on the amendment? Hands, please. Thank you, Councillor Barmer. Okay, so I'll go technically. Any further discussion? Presuming there being none, I will call a motion. All those in favor of the awarding of the contract as recommended in the motion and the amended motion, please say aye. Okay, call the question for the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Those opposed, nay.
Aye.
Thank you. It's ayes.
Aye.
Thank you very much. It passes, which brings us to the the amendment. The motion as amended. So I'll, just for technicality, I'll put that forward as amended. Can I have a second? Thank you. Call a motion. All in favor? Ayes 4, nays opposed.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Unanimous. There we go. Public Works Manager, you're up again on the item number 2, information report, the community center complex septic system failure and replacement.
So council was aware that the septic system was up for replacement. During, I guess, during an inspection, it was determined that the septic system was actually leaking raw sewage. It wasn't treating properly. Based on that, we went out for tender, and the CAO approved going with the low bid for the contract. We went out to 4 companies, only 2 provided quotes. One company actually responded and indicated that they were just too busy. And the septic system was basically replaced. We ran into a bit of a problem, and possibly the reason for the failure of the septic system. The ground material that's there is not suitable for a proper septic dispersion field. And that was determined when Canadian Septic excavated the old field. So at that point, we had to make a change in the process and go with a type 3 septic system, which treats completely the wastewater, and that added an increase to the budget. We had a budget of 45,000. The total cost was 47,986. So an overage of 2,986. We wanted to bring this to council's attention because we went ahead with the contract due to pressing need. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much, Public Works Manager. Given the immediacy, I think this is a staff management decision to move, and I'm in favor of having this coming forward as an information report and that it be received. To my council colleagues, let's go alphabetically again. If there's any questions, Councillor Abbott, you're first up.
No, I don't have.
None. Councillor Bain is absent. Councillor Barmeyer, any questions?
No, it seems like that's something that we just need to get on top of quickly.
Thank you very much. Councillor Cunliffe, any questions?
No questions. Thank you for your action, Public Works Manager. Nye.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cunliffe. And again, I echo senior executive staff's quick action in this and moving decisively and finally. So all in favor of receiving this report, please say aye. Nays opposed.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you very much. It's received, which is, and Public Works Manager, you're gonna get tired.
Sorry, just, if I may, I'd like to prevail upon council. And really, we had no choice.
Sorry, Peter, I don't know if it's everyone or just me, but I'm battling to hear you.
Yeah, I can't turn up the volume on my computer because it provides a bunch of feedback. So I'm going to speak as loudly as I can, and hopefully you can hear me now.
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to prevail upon council to pass an additional resolution in the circumstances, and that is as follows. That council endorses the award of the Clap Building Septic System Reconstruction Contract to Canadian Septic. I know it's after the fact and it's more or less sort of rubber stamping an action that staff took, but I think just to put the ribbon on it, would appreciate that gesture.
All right, I'll put forward that motion. Can I have a hand signal for a second? That would be you, Councillor Barmere. Thank you. Call a motion on that one. Thank you. All in favor, ayes. Nays opposed, please.
Aye.
Do we have some discussion on it first?
Sorry, Councillor. Thank you very much, Councillor Abbott. A discussion, Councillor Abbott, we'll begin with you.
So I understand we're doing this, as you just said, as a rubber stamping, but do we need to, and should it have come to council?
I would say
It's water under the bridge. Done. It was in the budget, and we followed a competitive bidding process and chose the appropriate party. It's just that there is a bit of a gap in terms of delegation at the moment, and so that's why I'm asking that it be ratified after the fact.
Okay, so I guess I'll just ask differently. So had it not gone over budget, it was in your authority to do it without coming back to council, or was it, or should it have always come to council in the first place?
Well, if it was an operational, like a water break or something like that, we would have done something operational.
Arguably, in an emergency, your executive can take the actions that are required in order to protect the interests of municipalities. That's what's going to happen, but I do have in due course a delegation bylaw that would cover off these kinds of things a little more explicitly.
Councillor Abbott, I really want to move on here.
Okay, yeah. So what are we approving the award after the fact? Is that what we're saying? Or we approving the over budget? I'm still not sure what we.
Sorry, the word that I used was endorses. So you're not approving it, you just endorsing the fact that it was awarded and for this project to that company.
Councillor Abbott, I appreciate what the CAO is saying, but I think this is a yin and yang thing. I think with probably we should be giving a higher delegated CapEx limit to the CAO.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not arguing that. I just don't understand. I honestly don't understand why we're doing it and why we need to do it and why we need to endorse it, to be honest. It's done, it's water under the bridge. It's done, it's water under the bridge. If people within his authority to have done it, and he did, then why are we being asked to endorse anything?
Yeah, no, we'll just let it go. That's fine.
Are you fine with that, CAO?
Yeah,
okay, then we'll just leave everything where it stands. Move on. Okay. Okay. Public Works Manager, batter's up again, and this is on your on-table, actually, no, it is on table, but it's the increased waste generated at public garbage receptacles. And this is as a result of information that came to us from residents this weekend. I know you're going to go into it.
Yeah, basically, I just wanted council to be aware that we were and had received complaints as well, separate to the complaints that had been received by council, and acted as I've outlined in the report. Essentially, we increased the cleaning of the porta potty at the Sunset Trailhead to twice per week instead of once per week. Based on some of the complaints. We did add a garbage can to Sunset. We always had a 45-gallon drum, and essentially the garbage that we get year-round is typically dog waste. Unfortunately, due to the high volume of traffic, that can became overflowed, and the second can that we've installed is also becoming overflowed. To give you an idea, last Tuesday or Wednesday, the can was emptied by Public Works, and by Friday, it had been, both cans were overflowing again. So there is a lot of garbage being generated by the hikers going up to the Lions. So to combat that, we're checking the cans 3 times a week, and we'll empty them as we check them.
Thank you.
The other issue I wanted to bring to your attention is the 3 cans that are identified in the report. Kelvin Grove Bus Stop, Lions Bay Bus Stop, and Isleview Park and Ride. Essentially what we're noticing is that there are residential bags of garbage being placed in those public receptacles. I don't know if it's people coming off the highway for Lions Bay Avenue and putting their garbage in there. I don't know if it's locals, but it's garbage that's, for example, a small kitchen garbage bag full of garbage that's stuffed into the public bins. So what we've done is we've created restrictor plates. They're basically an aluminum plate that bolts onto the garbage can with a hole, and that limits the size of garbage that can be placed in those cans.
Thank you very much. I think that this is being asked for to be received for information purposes. I'll hold that for the second, and we'll go around the council again alphabetically with any questions or comments. Councillor Abbott, if you could go first, and I see Councillor Bain has joined us. You'll go second.
Yeah, just a question for Public Works. No, so the 3rd can at Sunset, and you said a 3rd can and 3 times a week. Is that what you said?
Sorry, 2 cans and 3 times a week.
Oh, okay. So that's the 2 cans that have been there for a little while. Do you think that's going to be enough on the weekend? Don't they fill up in a day? I know. Last weekend, one of the residents actually cleaned up, and it wasn't the resident; it was the correspondence we got. And the next day, they were full again. Well, it was all over the place again. Do you believe that's going to be sufficient?
No, we have ordered another can for there. It's a double can, so it will be garbage on one side, recycling on the other, and we're hoping that makes a difference. I'm hoping that can will be up there before the end of the week.
Okay.
Councillor Abbott, you're up for a second, but you're next up after me on this one. So Public Works Manager, so we're doing it 3 times a week. So we say goodbye on Friday, but before the start of the long weekend. What happens for the next 3 days? Who's checking?
Absolutely no one. Unless one of our guys get called out for for something else, We don't have anybody on that will check that. It won't be until Tuesday morning that we get to it.
Well, I think it would be fair to say with temperatures hovering north of 25 degrees to 30 and lots of hikers, those are going to be filled. Is this, and I know this is an overtime issue. I presume it is.
Yes.
It's an overtime issue of,
It would be a call out, so a minimum 3-hour charge.
what is,
At time and a half for the first two, time and a half. And I think Monday would, or the holiday would be double time.
okay, so, and if you could just give an idea of numbers, so it's 2 hours minimum,
3-hour minimum.
3-hour minimum. Well, I tell you what, we can spitball this round, and the other counselors can think about it.
Pam could provide a rough cost for that.
Yeah, it's actually double time on Sunday, but also I have a question. Is it a one-person job or a two-person job to empty them?
It's a 1-person job.
It is, okay.
I'm thinking here, again, I'm just, it's why the mayor is crazy as a loon sometimes. If we bring one of our people on and they do the can, because clearly we're going to have garbage everywhere. It's not going to look good on us. And everything's fine until Friday, and then it goes downhill quickly. I'd be happy to put forward to, I mean, I don't even know if I have to authorize it, but I put forward a recommendation. This is an operational issue, but I personally would be in favor of bringing a person in Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever the consensus thinking is to keep it clean. And while they're here, we give them some a bunch of pads so they can write some tickets. And if
there's plenty of work that they could do for the 3 hours, that's for sure.
You know, I don't want to play with your budget, but I think this is something that's good because these poor folks that are up in the area, we've all seen the letters that they've sent in to me and to council over the last week. I just don't think we want to go there. So I would be pushing in that direction, but I'll go around the horn with the councilors first and then go back to staff. Councillor Abbott, any final comments or thoughts or in agreement with that?
No, I'm in agreement with some additional sort of service on that, especially over the long weekend. Might get back to fairly normal in the next few weeks, but certainly the long weekend and whatever's left of summer.
I'm kind of thinking the same way, and I guess I'm going to ask staff if we go with this, that you keep your eye on it, so that while the other areas that are beach related are going to die down, I expect the hiking will continue into October. So I think we should just eat the cost. That's my thought. I thank you, Councillor Abbott. So Councillor Barmare, your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I would just want to ask Nye, just from your experience with, public works in general, is this just an anomaly because of more people coming there, maybe due to COVID or whatever it happens to be, that's motivating more hikers to come up there?
Yeah, we haven't had this type of garbage issue in the past.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would suspect it's COVID related.
So, and your short-term, or pardon me, your long-term plan would be to get an additional bin up there for the foreseeable future?
Well, the intent was to replace the 45-gallon drum with a double bear-proof garbage and recycling bin. But if the volumes continue, we'll leave the 45-gallon drum there as well and maybe consider another.
Yeah, okay. Just don't want to throw good money after bad. Might as well make it a long-term solution, right? If that traffic's going to continue. That would be my only comment. And I do support the idea of taking care of it this weekend.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Barmare. Councillor Bain, welcome. Any comments?
Yeah, just a thought. I know they're ugly, but for long weekends and stuff, is a dumpster a possibility? And then you don't have to bring the staff in?
I would be concerned about a dumpster. I mean, we already got bear attractant issues if you got a dumpster there, who knows what's going to be in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
What animals going to attract?
our experience with dumpsters is that if you put it, people will come, and people will fill it up with not just garbage from the trails.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
that's a good point. Well, that was my only other comment to the contrary, but I think we got to keep the neighborhoods free from being sort of rat infested and stuff like that, or whatever is going to come.
There you go. Thank you very much, Councillor Bain. Councillor Kunloff?
I would definitely be in agreement of extra staff on the weekend, and double down with enforcement, I think is a great idea. So
Thank you.
in favor.
Good, thank you very much. Then I think it would be fair to say on behalf of council that I'll go for the motion that this report is received, but on the garbage coverage over the long weekend and future weekends, that we'll leave that with senior staff to figure out what rotation they want to make with our personnel to ensure that it's clean, and that council would be supportive of that expenditure. So
Thank you.
that's the general piece on this. Let's just go all in favor. Ayes, nays, opposed.
Aye.
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 There you go. One more thing, Mr. Jeffrey, you don't get away easily on this vote. Only 3 days hence is the village update. In your usual comprehensive form, this would be an opportunity for you to write about garbage in the village and kill many birds with many stones. That to those of you nasty neighbors who stuff things into the cans that you shouldn't, oh no, can't do it anymore. And that especially for the folks that are up in the Sunset Trailhead area, that help is on the way and what we're doing about it. So if I could get you to put an article in the update for Friday, that would be much appreciated. Is that okay?
Consider myself voluntold.
As always, we ask first. Thank you. Unless you've got somebody else who wants to write it for you.
No, I'll do it.
Thank you. All right, then we'll go to the other reports, which is, thank you very much, Public Works Manager, for the many reports. The Mayor, I have nothing. Council members, this is an opportunity. Anything going? Gone. Committees, none. Emergency services, none. Public is not here. Mr. Marsh is here. And Mr. Moon.
I don't need anything. I don't need to say anything.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moon. You get a chance for 2 minutes if you want. Gone. It is gone. Okay. Then we will move to the closed council meeting, and the proposed topics for discussion in the absence of the public are employee relations matter, disposition of lands, confidential tender information, and that the meeting be closed to the public on the basis of matters to be considered under the following sections of the community charter, which is 91 C, E, J, F, which is law enforcement, K, and N. Council does not anticipate reconvening an open meeting for any purpose other than to adjourn the meeting generally. Council, could you motion ayes for, nays opposed to that for reasons of going into closed, please now?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We're passed. We are closed. So if you are here, you are here. Carla, I think we have to go out and go back in, I guess. Yes. Okay, let's try this again. Thank you very much.